Welcome, Tyler Grant here, ready to get started on some bluegrass guitar with you. And we're going to begin with a very simple melody that I call Bluegrass Bells in G major. During this course, we're going to focus on playing short examples, keeping it really simple at the beginner level, and moving on from there. You might have questions as far as keys and other details that will reveal themselves along the way. So just stick with me and let's work on these examples, and we'll start really slow on this one. So I am holding the guitar, I'm sitting up straight. I have a particular method with a strap that holds the neck up. Some might want to use a footstool, some might cross the leg. However you're comfortable holding in the instrument and your body size and shape and the way your arms and hands are is totally fine. As long as you can keep your fingers straight up against the fingerboard and your wrists straight holding the pick, and all of these ergonomic elements, because when you practice for a long time, you don't want to, be in an uncomfortable setting where you might have a backache or other injury. So this little short melody, Bluegrass Bells, I'm going to play it for you once through so you can see it done and hear it, and then we'll work through it one note at a time. Okay, let's have a look at this simple melody and let's kind of take it one note at a time. So, with your flat pick, go ahead and play the open G string. And notice I am resting the pick on the B string after I play that. And we call this a rest stroke. And you might hear me reference this quite a bit in the bluegrass flat picking style. A rest stroke means you're playing a string and resting on the next string. You're following through and letting the pick land and rest on the next string. And that gives us a nice, strong, full tone. So we're going to try to play rest strokes whenever we're playing down strokes in this style. So there you go. One more time, play that open G string. Okay. Now, with your second finger of your fretting hand, the middle finger, play the second fret of that G string. There you go. Notice I'm straight up, right on my fingertip. I'm not doing much flat fingering. I keep my hand up and my elbow out so my wrist is straight like so. Make sure your shoulder's relaxed. Don't do any of that kind of business. So there you go. There's the second fret of the G string. That's your next note. And then we have the open B string. Now we have the first finger on the first fret of the B string. Moving on now to the third finger on the third fret. Do you notice a trend here? The fret number equals the finger number, okay? If your fingers are 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're going to be playing their corresponding frets. And this is real simple, just using the first 3 frets of the guitar. So there we are on the third fret of the B string. And then we go right back down the way we came. Back to the first finger on the first fret. And then the open B string again. Now back to the second fret of the G string, second finger. And then the open G. And then we have an open B. And then back to the open G. So that's the first little bit of that melody. And it just goes. And the way we count that is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay? Exact same rhythm on the next couple of measures, but the notes are ever so slightly different. This time we're starting on the 2nd fret of the G string. There you go. Play that. Okay. Then the open B. And then the 1st fret of the B string. And then 3rd finger on the 3rd fret. And then right back down, 1st finger on the 1st fret. Open B, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, open G, and now the open D string, and then our 2nd finger will play that 2nd fret of the G, and then back to the open D. Okay? So that is the 2nd part of the melody, and it sounds like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then we wrap it up with this figure that sounds like the bells. That's why I call this bluegrass bells in G major. You have an open G string, open D, and back to the open G. And then next measure, same thing, but open G, and 2 downstrokes on the D, back to G. All right? So now we'll move on to the practice session, and we'll practice this simple melody together with a rhythm track at a nice slow tempo.